One of the worst things that can happen to your computer is simply that your hard drive might break down or that some nasty computer virus will come along and wipe out all your hard work. It's easy to tell someone just to do a backup, but that's not always as easy as it sounds either. Well, joining me today in the studio is Lopez from Reduxio, a company that has created a revolutionary new way of backing up your important data. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good evening.
So my first thing is, what is Reduxio and what is unique about that system?
Right. So we all know the importance of data. Think about what you store today on your PC as opposed to 5 years ago. Movies and documents and receipts and emails, etc. So the importance is incredible. Reduxio was created to help customers and organizations manage this data. So our two founders are Neil Peleg and Amnon Strasser, and they're veterans of the computer industry and storage industry in particular. And they sat back and looked at, although storage solutions increased capacity that they managed, increased performance and reliability, in 20 years there was no change to data management. And they sat back and designed a totally new way of managing data. The outcome is a totally revolutionary technology for managing data, but some of the capabilities seem to be taken out of a science fiction movie. Joined them Mark Wiener as the CEO, and Reduxio was formed. And if you look at the storage industry, one interesting thing is that although data size has increased incredibly over the last few years, the importance to organizations has also increased dramatically. And the threats to data are growing on a daily basis. Every day new hacker is thinking of new ways to damage your data. None of the storage technology vendors have changed the way they protect data. They all use a 25-year-old technology for protecting called snapshots, which means they take an image of your data every few hours. So if something happens to your data, and that can be anything, a human error, an application failure, a cyber attack or a ransom attack, your data is damaged, you have to roll back a few hours and lose so many hours of work. And think about organizations that have hundreds of employees. You lost 8 hours of 100 employees.
Right, so it doesn't differentiate who did what and can roll back specific items.
And that's a giant impact to the organization, lose 8 hours of work. One of the unique capabilities of our technology is the ability to go back to any second in time. So if something were to happen and anything to your data, you simply determine the second that it happened, roll back a second before that, and you're back in business without losing any work.
So does this, when you're talking about rolling back specific items to the very second, instead of like to the hourly backup, are we again talking about moving the whole system back to that point in history, or just that specific item?
So we have a technology that allows you to move specific areas and specific items depending on your use. So that's quite incredible. And a good example of this is ransomware. Ransomware is a type of malware that attacks your files and encrypts them, and then presents you a nice message that says, if you want the decryption key, please send a number of Bitcoins back to the hackers. And this attacks both regular private people. It happened to my daughter just last month. Wow. I'm ashamed to say. I warned her, but it happened. And it attacks, in 2016, over 60% of organizations worldwide were hit by this.
Oh, wow.
So you either pay up or you go back to a backup that's many hours ago, and imagine the impact.
You may have lost everything, yeah.
So a Reduxio customer simply determines when the attack occurred, rolls back his time machine to the exact second before the attack. He's back in business without losing any work, and that's pretty incredible. We already have many examples of customers using this to go back to business.
So that's kind of my next question. Where are you already being used, and what's next?
Okay, so we announced our product back in VMworld in 2015. This is 18 months ago, and this is a giant event. This is 25,000 people. Within the same day of announcing our product, we received Best of Show award.
Wow.
Since then, we've opened 8 offices in the US, so all around the US we're selling. A couple of offices in Europe, and of course in Israel. We have over 150 customers worldwide. These are government, local government, educational, industrial, high-tech, etc. In Israel, we're being represented by Consist Systems, which is our local distributor, and we are installed in the Technion, in military industry, in other industrial, in education, etc. So what's in the future? So just like we canceled the connection between data and time, and we allow customers to go back to any second in time, what we're thinking about and planning and actually designing is a way to separate data from hardware, from physical devices. So in our vision, and this is a vision at this point, but we're already halfway there, data will be a floating entity that's sitting on top of devices, private clouds, and public clouds.
Okay.
So data will not be limited and connected to a direct physical device, but will be out there floating, and this has unique advantages to all organizations.
Sure.
So again, we separated the connection between data and time, and we're going to do this connection between data and space and location.
Well, I'm very excited to see what comes out of Reduxio next. You know, I can't wait to do a backup on my computer. It has been way too long, and it seems like your product is just the thing for me. So thank you so much for coming in again.
My pleasure.
All right, it was excellent.